everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Jamie Lee, and I'm joined by my husband, Mr. Jared Lee. Hello, Jared.
Hello.
Well, happy Memorial Day. Well, this comes out, it'll be after that, but we just celebrated Memorial Day, and we were at the beach all day.
All day.
A day. And it was pretty packed. I mean, we kind of expected that, but it was a fun time because we didn't really get to the beach a lot, even though we live 30 minutes away.
Yeah, I mean, we've tried to go to the beach a few times the past few months. It hasn't worked out. It's actually been rather cool on some of the days for some, oddly enough. But yeah, it was a nice weekend. Hopefully everyone had a nice Memorial Day.
Yeah.
We spent one night at Disney and did that on
Friday.
This weekend seems like it seemed as though it went by fast, but it also took 2 years. I don't know as to why.
We packed a lot in.
It's a strange time paradox that I'm in, but yes, we spent all day at the beach. Our daughter did boogie boarding, and that's the longest I think I've ever spent at the beach. I'm not like a huge beach person. Like I'm probably good on the beach for a while at this point.
What's a while?
A year. No, I don't mean that. Probably like a couple of months, maybe. I don't know. It just depends. I'm just not one of these people. Like I get kind of antsy.
No, yeah, you're fine. I mean, like it's a lot of sand, and it's sunny and it can get hot, and with little kids, you kind of have to really watch them, make sure they,
Yeah, it's not relaxing. Yeah, with little ones at the beach,
it's not relaxing.
No, not at all. Yeah, and our son, he always does this at the beach. He gets there, and then he eventually gets to the water, and then he never wants to leave the water. So you don't ever get to actually relax.
But he has so much fun.
He has a blast, and it's fun watching him, but it is not relaxing.
No.
Not in the slightest. But you know what? That is fine. So.
You know what else is fine?
I don't know.
What we're going to talk about today on the episode?
Oh, I thought you had something specific. Okay. You usually ask me a question.
I know. Oh, I need to ask you a question.
It's hard to say. I thought this was a segue to a question.
All right. Well, here's my question. When can we go back to Volcano Bay?
They're going to say the beach, which is kind of a beach there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, whenever. I think we had talked about with some friends of ours maybe going like in June sometime.
A couple weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, it is my favorite water park. I think it's yours too.
As someone who's not a huge fan of water parks in general, it is my favorite water park. I always put that caveat. I don't market myself as a water park enthusiast.
Right.
For the most part. If you tell me most water parks, like, hey, Jared, would you want to go to this water park? I'm like, I'm good. But I will go to Volcano Bay. I enjoy it. It is nice.
Yeah. So we're going to try to get there hopefully in a couple weeks. But I really love it in the summer just because when we went in March last time, it was chilly. It was a chilly day, and that happens with Florida weather. Before it gets to be like hot all the time, it can be hot or cold. Like, it just kind of goes back and forth. That day happened to be really chilly. So I'm anxious to get back there and actually not freeze my butt off.
Well, the day we were there, it was perfect for like theme park weather, just not for like once you got in water, when you got out, it was kind of cool.
Oh, no, that's correct. Yes.
Yeah, if you were in like the parks, it was fantastic.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah, so
yes, absolutely.
That does happen sometimes. But
well, we're not going to talk about Volcano Bay today, although we could. We're actually going to talk about our stay at Sapphire Falls. A couple of weeks ago, we stayed in a kids' suite, and we're going to talk about that. And we're also going to talk about the Jurassic Park tribute store that opened this past weekend, which we're very excited to chat about because it was awesome.
Which we got to go to. So we went to Disney, but we also stopped at Universal real quick.
When we say quick, how quick?
I think we were in and out in less than under an hour, weren't we?
It was literally 45 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't very long.
Like, it was very quick. So we're going to talk about those two things. But first, we want to mention that if you want to follow us along in the parks, like when we do live streams and have a private podcast feed, discounts on our merchandise and stuff like that, you should join Club 32.
Yeah, like Jamie said, the big thing I would say is the exclusive content you can get there. So there's Club 32 shows like Cool Kids Kitchen. There's Club 32 Speakeasy. Tons of live streams. We have the Club 32 show, which we do each week. So now we have an exclusive live stream day on Tuesdays that we just sit down and chat with everybody and see what's going on. We also have, like Jimmy said, private podcast feed, 20% off of CTM apparel and 1901 Candle Company products. We have a lot of stuff coming as well. We're going to do some watch parties for some CTM at the movies we're bringing back involving the 90s sitcoms. Then when they go to Disney and other things, because those were just sort of kind of insane. But yeah, if you want to be a part of that, you can go to ctmvip.com. We have monthly or yearly options. You can even do a free trial. Even if you do a yearly, you can get a free t-shirt as well. And we have a lot more stuff playing in there. Have a lot more fun. But anyways, it's a great community as well. There's private Discord and private Facebook group where we get to interact a little bit more in there than we do on the main channels of social media and everything. So again, ctmvip.com is where you go to check that out.
Thank you very much. So, all right, well, we're going to start with a little bit of news today. This is actually nothing very new because we knew it was coming, but Universal Orlando Resort finally announced that it is coming and what it is. And that is Minion Land.
Yes, we didn't know it was going to be called Minion Land. I think I had been describing it as Minion area because that's what we knew it was going to be, because there's obviously the Despicable Me attraction that's there. We have known about the Minion ride coming in. So yeah, now this is all Minion Land as it's going to be known. All right, so going in is Villain Con Minion Blast. So we know this has been going in for a while. The signage has been up for a few weeks, but there's been really no details about what this will entail. So this all-new attraction challenges park guests to test their villainous skills in an interactive gaming experience. When they complete the challenge, guests exit through Evil Stuff, an all-new retail location featuring Villain Con and Minions merchandise. Additional details will be revealed soon.
Basically, we also know that you become part of the Sinister Six, I think, that group, and you're blasting the minions, and it's kind of like a game like Toy Story Mania, where you accumulate points and stuff.
So from what I've understood with this ride is you're on a standing sort of walkway that moves you around, sort of like when you first walk into Universal Studios and there's that moving walkway. It's like that, and you have a blaster. So, and
you can even look on the concept art or the I guess the little poster they have that'll show you like two people with these little gun things, and it looks like they're on like a moving walkway.
Yeah. So I don't know necessarily what that means. You can like go back and shoot stuff. I don't really know, for instance, but it does seem very. And now if it's like Midway Mania or Toy Story Mania, I'm in, because that's probably my favorite attraction, and not favorite, but it's the one I can do over and over again because it's fun, because it's got the gaming aspect to it. That'll be fun though, and it's also going to be set up to where you can accumulate those points in those games, and you can like connect it to the Universal app. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. Well, this is what they're going to do, and they currently do that with the Nintendo World in Hollywood, where they have that going on where you can. So they're going to incorporate a lot of these things inside the app,
right?
Which I'm very excited about, because I think that can be really cool.
Sure.
These are things that have been promised by other places that have never actually happened. I'm looking forward to it actually happening, see what it actually does. I don't assume you're going to be actually gaining like points, but or like money per se, but I don't know what it does. But anyways, some other things were announced. There's the Illumination Theater. So guests will be able to meet the Minions, Gru, Margot, Edith, and Agnes, plus new additions from the hit film Sing. You have Rosita. I think Rosita, Gunter, and Johnny at an outdoor Illumination Theater facade. So throughout Minion Land, colorful murals and fun photo ops will celebrate additional characters from popular Illumination films. Then there is the Minion Cafe. The new Illuminations Minion Cafe will offer an entertaining dining experience featuring areas themed to fan favorites Minions, Kevin, Stewart, Bob, and Otto.
And they have 3 different sections in here. They have the kitchen, where guests will see the equipment the Minions use to whip up the cafe's menu. The break room, where guests can dine in the Minions break space, includes office safety tips and a vending machine stocked with mischievous items. And then the dining room, where guests can enjoy their meal surrounded by colorful artwork courtesy of the Minions. And there's some dishes. They gave us a little bit of an example of what kind of dishes we can expect. And there's stuff like Agnes's honeymoon soup, which looks like a waffle and soup, which is interesting looking.
It doesn't. Some of it, that doesn't look appetizing, but I have a feeling it'll taste better.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Carl's crispy cauliflower, steak and cheese ray sandwich. Like, it's all puns from the movies. So that's kind of fun. There's also going to be an outdoor patio where you can kind of overlook everything. But this is in the space that the Monsters Cafe was in. So I just took that over.
Yeah. So there's some additional Minion Land dining locations, including Bake My Day, which looks like a cupcake shop.
It's a sweet shop.
It has a Minion on top of it, which the Minion is there currently now.
Yeah.
You can see it. It says Papa Nana, and I believe this is like flavored popcorns.
Banana flavored popcorn.
Yes, which that could actually be pretty good.
I'm actually really excited to try this. And you can also get the like popcorn buckets they sell there too. So.
Yeah, and Freeze Ray Pops. So I have imagined there will be different flavors of popsicles, which on a hot day, good. That's pretty smart.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's pretty much all that they kind of talked about. But the fact that they kind of came out and said like this is officially happening was very nice, because they like to keep people in the dark for a very long time, which is okay, because I mean we could tell it was Minions because the construction walls were all Minions. You could see the yellow and the blue peeping over. Like it wasn't a secret.
Well, they all came out and basically said it was.
Right.
If it was a secret, it was the worst held secret. But they still haven't revealed an opening date. So they have said summer.
That's right.
So
the rumor is August. That's what I heard. I heard August, but again, that was a rumor.
I hope it would be July, but July, August. I'd be surprised if it was September. Universal is pretty good about getting their construction going. Plus, the other thing that they did unveil, I guess Friday when we were there, is they actually have the Minion Land statue. That
sign.
When you walk into the park, it's been unveiled. So I don't imagine they're going to unveil that and then it's going to be a long time before it opens. That's the only thing I'm going to say about that. I'm not saying it's going to open in June, but that signage is there, which actually looks pretty cool. It's like 4 or 5 Minions on it, and so that's there. So it's all coming together. Looks really good. Are you excited for this?
I am pumped. Now I'm excited for my kids because they're great ages for this.
They're gonna freak out.
They're gonna freak out. Our son is obsessed with Minions. Obsessed. Like I literally had to print off like 3 different coloring pages of Minions for him to color earlier today, and like he's obsessed. I love it, and I don't know. They're adorable. They're funny. They're cute. And Despicable Me is good too, not just that. But.
I'm glad we have kids for a multitude of reasons. One of which I probably like Minions more than I should as a grown man. I think they're hilarious. Yeah. And some people have said they don't want this. I disagree. I think this is great. I think it's great. Minions I think are funny, but this is also something that families, and one thing we've talked about Universal is, they have lacked, especially for kids under like 3 years old.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they know this because some of their surveys they've sent out, they're really addressing this. I really think, in my opinion, I think Disney has kind of left this area kind of not up for the taking maybe, but they've definitely allowed a little bit of an entry point in here for Universal Illuminations, given the animation side of things in the movies the past, 2, 3, 4 years. So I definitely think Universal is capitalizing on that. And I think this is I just think it's smart. As soon as you walk in, you're just going to see their biggest animated franchise. Well, I say that. Maybe Mario is bigger or Nintendo now. But up until then, Minions Despicable Me has been the biggest one they've got. So they're doubling down on what they know already works.
Yeah, I mean, it's smart on their part. And for us, we're going to benefit from that. So I'm happy with this. I know, like you said, there are some people that just really don't like Minions. They really don't like Minions.
And they're void of happiness in their life.
And my suggestion to those is just if you're not interested, just keep on walking. You don't have to stop. You don't have to do anything over there. I'm wondering, not to take this too big of a leap forward into the future because we don't know, but the what zone was it's not Sky Zone, the Kid Zone back in by ET. We still don't know what it's going to be. They haven't announced it yet, but we're thinking it's going to be a DreamWorks area.
If I were to guess, it would be DreamWorks. I think that makes the most sense because I think back there you can put in, again, another property they have that's really popular is Trolls. Mm-hmm. So you put Trolls back there.
They're going to do Shrek again. They're going to bring Shrek back.
Well, I think there's another Shrek movie that's going to come out in the next few years.
Is that true? I heard you say that before, but I haven't heard anything.
I've heard that.
Okay.
I hope so. It'd be great if they did.
Yeah.
They could, there's the Secret Life of Pets ride out in California. Mm-hmm. They haven't, I no clue if they're going to, I don't know. I haven't heard anything. So they have options with the DreamWorks that they can do. So But yeah, the kids zone area is definitely way more than I thought it was going to be. I thought they would just retheme some stuff, but they completely tore down the Woody Woodpecker roller coaster. I think they've torn down Curious George stuff back there.
The roller coaster, actually, part of it is still up.
Part of it is.
Yeah.
So they're just doing part of it. Okay.
So I don't know exactly. Again, we have no idea what they're doing. But Five-O's Playland is down for sure. But the roller coaster is still up. So they've got time. I mean,
I'm fine. Five-O's Playland, I know you have PTSD memories from that with our son.
Sure do.
It was a lot of these play areas like that one. I'm okay to see go. It's a big area that you could use for other things. Same with Curious George. It's a huge space back there. So there's a lot of stuff that utilizes a lot of space that I don't think was, I mean, it was built. I think that stuff was in there from 20 years ago. So, you could use some updating. So yeah, I definitely think, Universal is doing a great job of trying to get more stuff in there to do for kids.
And I think this is kind of unrelated to this but I think they're going to make it a way easier to get back into the Halloween Horror Nights houses, because in the years past, you had to walk through Curious George Land to get to some of them back there, which is kind of a weird feeling because it's like supposed to be scary.
Unless they did like
we're in like a kids area,
like a zombie Curious George or something.
Yeah. But yeah, so excited about Minions Land. Excited to check it out this summer. So as soon as they announce an opening date, we'll head down there and check it out. So
yes, we will. Day of opening, we'll be there.
Day of opening, yeah. per Jared, he wants this. All right, so let's move on to talk about Sapphire Falls. So this is considered a moderate resort, I guess.
It's considered a moderate in the Universal terms.
Yeah,
we've talked about Sapphire before, but it's been a bit. But it's our favorite hotel at Universal.
Our favorite hotel.
I think it should be I honestly think it should be a premier. I love the look and feel of it.
If it's a premier, it's jacking up that price. And I don't want it to.
True, it would do that. But this, it's got a lot of things going for it in terms of, I love the way that the lobby's laid out.
We'll talk about the location and the theme.
So the location of it is right across the street from Cabana Bay. It is right next to Aventura. So when if you're coming off of I-4 heading toward, which way is that heading?
If you're heading west on Orlando.
So you get off and you take that exit for Universal because you see Volcano Bay right there. If you go, first stop that you come to, you're going to see either Cabana Bay on your left, or you go to your right. That's where you got Aventura or Sapphire Falls. So that's right where it's at. You got the drive up porte-cochere there to go check in.
And the theme is, it's supposed to be kind of Caribbean. A lot of rum, like it all revolves around the rum.
I'll tell you what it reminds me a lot of. It's a Margaritaville type vibe. Like if you look at the Margaritaville colors, it's lighter blues with whites. It definitely has a Caribbean feel to it. And again, it's got really in the lobby. It's got from floor to ceiling glass. So when it's sunny out, it really lights up that lobby.
Got that waterfall outside.
Yeah, I mean, and you go and you got we'll talk about transportation. You got boat transportation. You got all sorts of stuff. But yeah, in the lobby there, that's the vibe to it. I think it fits it very well. So it's the Universal hotels. It is my favorite lobby.
Yeah,
it's not as grand. Like I'm not gonna say it's as grand as some of the ones at Disney.
Right.
But it is. It's got really high ceilings and it just fits it really well of a very relaxed, chill vibe.
Yeah, I agree.
And lots of seating in the middle. You've got a big TV out there. They have games on. So it's got a lot of spots, even if you just want to sit out there and like relax or do some work. There's plenty of spaces. There's got some long tables that have even charging areas for you to charge stuff and do work out there. And
this one opened, I want to say 2016. And then, so it's not the newest resort, unless summer resorts are the newest. But this one was the newest before that. Yeah. So it is newer than like the premier resorts. So it doesn't show its age quite as much as those do. So that may be why we like it a little bit more, because it's just a little more fresh, a little more new. But I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. I just think like, and we'll talk about it, I think it just got some amenities that are very premier / deluxe level. But again, one thing that is nice about this being considered a moderate is the pricing on this. A lot of times you can get really good pricing. So that's, if it's not going to be a premier. And the only thing that you would miss out of it being premier is you don't get the express pass, included in your stay. That's really the only, that's the only thing you're missing out of this is that.
But we still get it with our annual pass for express after 4. So
True.
For in this case, like we're okay. You know,
right. I just mean in general for people
Yeah.
that want to stay at Premier to, you know, get
Right.
express pass and things.
Yeah.
This one, I think if most people were to walk through this lobby, this hotel, you would assume it's a Premier.
Possibly.
Especially,
Yeah.
which we'll talk about, especially the pool area. I think most people would assume in
I
that
like the
pool
pool.
area, like, you know, it definitely, considering even comparing it to Disney deluxe hotels, I think it's better.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the room first. So we stayed in a kids suite, which was the first time we've ever stayed in a kids suite, and we got a really good rate. So I believe prices for this room start in the 500 range and without a discount, and we were able to get it for $264. So we got a really good deal because we stayed there on a Thursday night. So it was during the week. So that's why it was a little bit cheaper. And we also got our annual pass holder discount.
Yeah.
So, all right, talk about the room. Like, how was the layout?
As you would know, hotel rooms, it is a 1-bedroom suite in that you have the main. When you walk in, you got your main room. So in there, this is a king. Excuse me, had a king suite. So it was a king bed. Mm-hmm. You get your normal hotel stuff in there as you would a normal one. But then you have a door, and then in there is another room, hence the 1-bedroom. And in there you had 2 twin beds, and then it had a seating area, a little table, had TV, and it was just its own little offshoot, basically like a kid's room. I think was the intention of it.
So yeah. We've talked about the way Universal does this before. In a traditional suite, you're going to have like an entry room. You're going to have the main room with the bathroom, with like a couch, a TV, and then like 2 rooms. And you call that a 2-bedroom suite. This kid suite is connected to the king room. Like so you have to go through the king room part to even get to it. And it's kind of like the 2-bedroom endless summer suites. It's not really a 2-bedroom. It's really a 1-bedroom.
Yeah, I mean, it just comes down to how they're going to classify the rooms. But yeah, that's how the layout is.
And it's 529 square feet. So it's pretty good size. I think it's pretty good size. And I like the theming. It's very like it's Caribbean, but it's got a little bit of a nautical.
Well, the room is laid out like
too.
you had a port door. It's kind of like you're in a boat or I don't know, a submarine, but it on the door that connected, it looked like, you know, if you've ever seen the movies with the submarine doorways that kind of look like that with the bolts around it.
Those are the watertight doors.
Yes. But yeah, in the kids' room, it was there definitely nautical themed with the beds, the way they were laid out. But I mean, I had a lot of space. I mean, this is one where if you were going to be here for a week, I would say you could definitely have plenty of room here for a week if that's how long you were going to be. The main area room was big, had a, you know, and most of the Universal hotel rooms in that main area, they're pretty spacious. So you had plenty of room in there. You know, the bed was okay. Wasn't the most comfortable bed ever, but it worked. It just depends on what kind of bed you like. It's a little softer than what I particularly enjoy, but it comes down to preference there. But yeah, we had a view of the pool from our room. So, and I don't know where a lot of those are, but yeah, we saw right outside to the pool. So that was kind of, that was nice. Although I guess it could be noisy depending on, I don't know how, we didn't hear anything that night. I guess it would just depend on how well those windows take care of the sound. But
well, this layout worked really well for us because it, you know, put Jared and I in the king bed, and then my mom and our kids were in the kids suite. It worked out perfectly. Like it was great.
Yeah.
Because we actually went down, I guess not downstairs, it was upstairs actually, to the lobby where it was kind of late, and we didn't wake them up when we came in because they had a different room. It was wonderful. And they have the same kind of like tile in the bathroom, which I like. It's like the white tile with the blue like swirly, you know what I'm talking about? I do love that. But we were on the 2nd floor, which the lobby's on the 4th floor, so we had to go down a little bit. And we didn't have, like, I know you said that we had a view of the pool. It wasn't like the best view.
well, you could see it. I did say,
You could
yeah,
see
it's
it.
not like the most, I don't know if you want to take photographs from that viewpoint, but it was there for
was
sure.
there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a wonderful room, and definitely stay there again if the price is right. It's just if it's in like the 300 or more range, it's a little pricey, at least for us. But because of this good deal we got, we kind of were like, oh, this is the perfect opportunity to check it out. So
I mean, it would depend. I think you're probably going to find these rooms, I'm sure they're cheaper than what Disney has them. So if you're in the price range of that, wanting more of a family suite,
Yeah.
I think either way that you would probably find these a better deal versus Disney. Now it just depends on, if you just plan on splitting time between here and Disney or other places. But as the room goes, again, we love Sapphire Falls, so I thought the room was fine. And I thought it was great, and had no issue with it.
Yep, for sure. All right, let's move on to talking about Strongwater Tavern, and this is the bar and lounge that's in the lobby that we were just talking about. So Jared and I went that night, actually, that we stayed there, and just wanted to check out what kind of things we could get there. So what did we get?
Yeah, so like Jimmy said, this is off the lobby. When we first stayed here, this was actually not open. This was like right when they reopened from COVID.
Oh, yeah.
So this is actually the first time we ever got to experience this. So I've always thought it looked cool. So again, it has a very kind of I guess a modern feel to it.
Yeah.
A little bit. So we went here. This is like, it's a lounge. It's definitely not.
It's mostly a lounge.
It's not really a restaurant. Obviously, you can get food because we got food, but it's definitely like small
tapas.
Yeah, like small plates and stuff like that. So we got some drinks and some food here. So Jamie got what's called a Last Typhoon, and you can take a wild guess as to what was in it. If that includes rum, it says Mount Gay rum, Eclipse rum, pineapple, passion fruit, creme de pamplemousse. I believe that's correct. It was $16, and this was a fruity rum drink that you enjoyed, correct?
It was pretty good. Yep. Fruity rum drink. That's what I like.
I'm not going to lie. I know they're all different. All of your fruity rum drinks taste exactly the same to me.
Not to me.
I'm sure they don't. When I try them, like, they're all good. I don't think they're bad. But usually the way it goes with Jamie's drinks is I end up finishing them. So I get to try all of these, and they're good. They all seem to taste the same to me. But again, it's pineapple and rum, so it's hard to go wrong. But yeah, so I had here if you listen to the show, I like bourbon, I like old fashions. They had a rum old fashioned. So I was like, I'll give it a try. I wasn't sure if I would like it or not. This was $17, a little pricey. It had Diplomatico, Fireball syrup, and double bitters. This was Diplomatico rum, I believe is what it was.
Jared asked me if I wanted a drink of this, and I said no. I do not.
It was actually really good. You may have liked it because again, rum is sweeter, obviously, than bourbon.
Yeah,
so
but
it was. I thought it was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I would drink this again if this was something like, if I would sip on regularly. Like it wasn't bad. I was actually pretty impressed with it. So for $17, again, you're getting cocktails at a theme park, resort. Those are the kind of how it goes. But I thought it was good for what it was. I was pretty surprised.
God.
It wasn't super. I think it was strong, but it wasn't super, like, it didn't burn or anything, because rum just is different than whiskey. So
okay,
if you're looking for something like that's less intense than a normal fashion, you may find this pretty enjoyable.
All right. Well, for food, we got jerk chicken. How much was that?
This was $10. It was bone-in chicken, jerk marinade, coconut rice, and mango chutney.
It was okay.
It was, the jerk chicken was the seasoning on it. It was fine. It was dry in certain parts, but it was a decent amount.
For $10, it wasn't bad.
It was about a quarter, I'd say, of a chicken, like a chicken leg, maybe a little bit more than that. But yeah, I mean, it was good. I mean, it wasn't the juiciest of chicken I've ever had, but it was fine. It wasn't bad at all. And for $10, it actually wasn't a terrible value for a place like this, I will say.
Yeah.
But the main thing that was the best thing, and I think Jimmy would attest to this, is, what was that?
The beefsteak empanadas for $12. Onions, carrots, and potatoes, spicy green garlic sauce.
This had meat. Well, yeah, obviously it had beef in it too.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So they give you two, and I took one bite of it and I was like, oh, I may need to order more because it was that good. And I talked to, I mentioned to the server, I was like, these are delicious. And she said that it's the chef, it's his grandmother's recipe, like legit empanadas. Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I can't explain. It's hard to explain like the texture. I don't know. How would you? It's not. I mean, like, it's kind of deep. It's deep fried.
I think it might have been deep fried. So, okay. Normally speaking, when you said you wanted to get empanadas, I'm not a fan of empanadas. At least we've had empanadas at various other places. I've never really cared for them that much. So I was like, okay. These were a bit smaller than ones I've seen before, but I think they were maybe deep fried, but they were very good. I was shocked at how good they were.
Oh my gosh.
Because I never had empanadas that I actually enjoyed. But the only complaint I had about this was I think there should have been 3 of them.
Right.
For
sure
what it was.
Yeah.
But they were very good.
Oh my
I
goodness.
would get them again.
I'm gonna get them again. I will. That garlic sauce was really good too.
Yeah. So definitely for a small
Yeah.
place in a little lounge was really good. So all in all, we had a good time. It wasn't hard to get in when we got there. We got seated right away.
Well, it was like 10:30.
Well, I mean, but I've been there at times I've been around at certain lounges at that time. It can be busy. But again, it was a Thursday night, so it wasn't, insanely busy.
And they do open at like 4. So it's not like an all day lounge. So it's just a night lounge.
Yes.
But yeah, so let's move on to talking about the pool. So Jared didn't get to go to the pool this time.
Well, I've been to the pool,
but he's been there before. This pool is 16,000 square feet. It does have 0 entry, and they actually have white sand beaches, which is kind of nice. Kid splash pad. There is a water slide, which our daughter went down quite a few times. They do have hot tubs. There's a fire pit. You can rent a cabana starting at $50 a day, which I thought was a really reasonable price for a cabana.
It's not terrible. No.
It goes all the way up to $400 depending on the season. The pool is heated, and they do have a Drum Club Canteen pool bar nearby. We did not spend that much time at the pool this trip because, again, we were only staying one night and we were kind of focused on doing stuff in the parks. But we did get about an hour and a half in just to experience the pool. And it's a big pool. It's big.
Well, the nice part is you can see the pool. So from the lobby, when you're walking to where the rooms are, you actually come across this walkway that has this, tall glass you can see through, and you can see into the pool there. And again, this is a huge pool. Yeah, I mean, if you look at this pool, you would assume, this is why I say, especially when you look at the pool area, you would assume it's a premier resort.
Yeah.
Because it's got a water slide, it's got all these things. But as the pools go, I actually think this may be the best one out of all the Universal properties. I really do. I think it's I think it's a better pool than Portofino Bay, for sure.
Okay, all right.
I think.
What about
we didn't get
Hard
to
Rock.
we didn't get to experience Hard Rocks.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we did Royal Pacifics either.
I've heard Hard Rock is better though.
I've seen those. We need to see those. But in terms of like the ones we have experienced,
this is our favorite.
I love it.
I'd say I'd agree with that. I do like the lazy river at Cabana Bay. That's kind of nice. Let's have that. But as far as the main pools and stuff go, then yeah.
But the Cabana Bay pool is more packed usually because it's a value resort and there's more people staying there. There's not as many people at a moderate versus a value. So that's where you start getting the trade-offs on, a packed pool versus obviously the higher up, levels you go, not as many people staying at those resorts.
Well, let me blow your mind for a second here. There are 1,000 rooms at Sapphire Falls.
How many are there at Cabana Bay?
I don't know because I was looking at Sapphire Falls.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of rooms. And to compare it for I think it's Pop Century has 1,192 rooms and 3 pools.
Yeah.
There's only one for this one, which when we went, it wasn't packed. It wasn't a packed pool. So, I mean, it may be maybe busier on the weekends.
But it is a really big area.
It's very big.
I think that's probably why it is so big.
Yeah. Yeah. But even Cabana Bay has 2 pools.
Yeah, I would.
But they have a lot of rooms, so.
I wonder what the room here. I'm going to look it up real quick on how many rooms Cabana Bay has because I would assume it is more.
Okay. While he does that, we're going to talk about transportation real quick. So transportation here is kind of nice. So this is the only non-premier resort that has boat transportation to City Walk, which is really convenient.
Which I love. If you can take boat transportation at Universal, it drops you off right in front of the NBC Grill and Brew. Mm-hmm. And you go through your own security at the boat dock, which again is not many people. So you go in there, it's quick, get on the boat. You don't have to fold up your stroller. You can just run it on there. It's a 5-minute boat ride over, drops you off, and you're right in the middle. You can either go to the studio side, or you can go to Island Adventure side, or you can just go to City Walk.
Yeah,
it's great. I love it. No complaints. Anytime we can get boat transportation, unless you're within walking distance, which this technically is, but it's a long walk.
Well, I was going to say, you said you had no complaints. I do have one complaint. When we went this night, we were going to try to do Hagrid's, and it went under like temporarily delayed because of lightning.
Well, okay, outside of lightning and stuff.
It was lightning, and so Velocicoaster was down too. It was down, and the boats don't run when there's lightning in the area.
Which we didn't know until this happened.
That is true.
So, yeah.
We were like, well, we could take a bus. We could go all the way over, through City Walk, like main little hub, security hub, and take a bus, or we could just walk. We chose to walk. However, you can do that, and it was okay, but it is kind of a long walk. It's, I don't know, 20 minutes? Oh, I clocked it. It was 24 minutes is how long it took.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit of walk, especially if you've been walking in the parks all day.
Yeah.
It can be a bit. So,
yeah.
But again, I didn't even know that about the boats until that actually happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be the only complaint, I suppose. You are correct.
Right. But you don't even need bus transportation, really. You have the boats, and then you can just walk to Volcano Bay because it's right next to Aventura.
Yeah.
So that's,
True.
That's nice too.
But yeah, so I mean, and the good thing about Universal is I've never really waited an insane amount of time for a boat or a bus.
Right.
So they typically tend to be pretty quick.
I love it.
Looking up real quick, Cabana Bay has 2,200 guest rooms. So they have double of what Sapphire Falls, a little bit more than double what Sapphire Falls has. So it makes sense they have 2 pools.
That does make sense.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for checking that. So like I said, we've done resort tour for Sapphire Falls back in 2020, I guess. We did our first one, right?
Yeah, because I talked about the bar was closed.
No, that's right. Yeah. So if you want to hear more about when we did that trip, you can go back and listen to that episode, and I'll put that in the show notes. But I think that's all we're going to talk about for today with Sapphire Falls. And there's anything you want to mention?
No, I love this resort. There's some restaurants we didn't eat at that are down.
This time,
there's one downstairs, things like that. So all the food we've ever had there, I feel like it's been pretty solid.
Oh yeah.
So again, I love this place. Would always stay here.
Love it.
It's my fave.
It is also my favorite too. So it's number one in our hearts.
Yes.
Okay, let's switch gears here and talk about the Jurassic Park tribute store. As Jared had mentioned, we stopped by on Friday to check this out. We had a little bit of time, and we wanted to see what all the hoopla was about because we heard it was amazing. This officially opened on Friday. They did a team member and AP preview the day before. But we were there on the first official opening day. So, what is a tribute store, Jared?
Yeah, basically a tribute store is a themed gift shop / themed merchandise exhibit, if you will. So these have different ones. This one was Jurassic Park, obviously. So there's been different, they're open, they're themed after different things. Like, what do they have in the past?
So it's always themed to like what's going on during that time of year, usually. So in the past, it's been like, it was Mardi Gras. Before that, this one, it was Christmas or like Grinch and a lot of the seasonal stuff there. And then it was Halloween Horror Nights before that. And then last summer, it was a retro tribute store, and that paid like homage to like Back to the Future, Jaws, and E.T., I believe.
Yes. Yeah. So it's kind of what they are. The concept of them, I absolutely love. There's an overall just themed shop here. And this one obviously is themed after Jurassic Park because it's been 30 years for Jurassic Park.
30th anniversary this year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't believe that.
So if you've been before, the tribute stores used to be located really close to Jimmy Fallon ride back there, kind of close to the Mummy.
Yeah, right next to the Mummy. Yeah.
They've moved it now where it is like, so right when you walk in, which eventually right before you even get to the Minion Land, you take a right. And it's down there next.
It's on Beverly Hills.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what used to be where it's at now?
It used to be Studio Styles.
Okay. And it's right next to the ice cream shop.
Yes. And so it takes up that space plus the dark room and then the Williams of Hollywood store. So it's all those storefronts is now the tribute store.
Yeah. So you won't miss it if you're here because it has a bunch of stuff on Jurassic Park on the outside of it. It looks like, and this is themed more of like a behind the scenes
making of
the movie. So it
Yeah.
doesn't look like you're walking into Jurassic Park. It looks like you're walking into a set, essentially, is kind of what they're sort of going for the vibe here. But so like in this, there's multiple rooms.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing about these. So they have most of the time they have 3 rooms, but you walk through each one having different bits of merchandise.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll talk about what was in each one though.
So the first room is the pre-production offices in LA in August of 1991. And this says that exactly on the door. So that's what they're trying to show you. So you kind of walk in and there's like sections set up of each department that would be involved in the production. So you're going to find departments like stop motion animation, sculpture, post-production CGI, T-Rex fabrication, costuming, casting, location, art, camera, and lighting. So a lot going on. Now, some of those were on the second level, which you cannot access. You can just look up and see like the doors of the different departments, or you can see some of the costuming too. But there was a lot of the sculptures, and the stop motion animation was in like one corner, and it would show you kind of how they did that. And they were showing like videos and stuff of like behind the scenes back then. Mm-hmm. Did you see that?
And they were set up on old TVs too.
Yeah.
So they definitely themed these things out retro-like as well. So everything looked very 90s.
Oh, yeah. 90s TVs, 90s computers.
Yeah.
It was all like that. And they did have actual set photos from back then that we would take of like the sculptures and like making of stuff, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, they have a lot of concept art of like the vehicles, the Jeeps and things they were using, and then different. So it almost like they have like what do you call those? It's like an enclosed little thing with like a pin board.
It's just like a glass case or like a shadow box.
Shadow box maybe, but they had those in different spots. You can, which I thought that was really cool because it looked legit. Like it looked like actually hand drawn sketches of them. Yeah. It had like a model of a T-Rex head. Mm-hmm. They had different like your painting stuff. Mm-hmm. But again, most of the stuff in here is merchandise. And one of the things they had in here was they had a whole entire Jeff Goldblum section of him laying with his button-down shirt, and they had turned that into some merchandise, which, not gonna lie, it was pretty funny.
Listen, Dr. Malcolm is something else.
They know to put that front and center.
They had a plushie.
They had which was out of stock when we were there. They had a brownie. They had cups and mugs and shirts. Tons. We didn't get any merchandise when we were here. Well, I'm sure when we go back, we'll probably
we didn't
get
have
some
time.
Yeah.
We were so strapped for time.
But a whole section for Dr. Jeff Goldblum, as I call him.
Dr. Jeff Goldblum.
And obviously the tons of Jurassic Park. You got shirts and jackets and mugs and cups and freestyle mugs and food. There's tons of stuff in these things. So
no, we really did. No, since we're going to talk about the merchandise, we really did like the Jurassic Park freestyle mug, like freestyle cup.
Yeah,
we almost got it, but they're like, well, if you buy it, then you get that day's drinks included. And we're like, well, we're not staying, so
it just would have been a waste. I think it was $24, which is a little bit more expensive than most of the freestyle cups you get.
I think it's actually $28.
Yeah, it was up there because most of them you're going to run around $14, $16. So
for the other ones,
yeah. So, but again, if you're going to do this, just know you also get the freestyle drinks, like Jamie said, the day of. So be sure to take advantage of that.
And they also have those mold machines where you can make like molds of a certain like character or prop or whatever. And in this room, there was the gates, like the gates that open Jurassic Park. Yeah. That was the mold for this room. So yeah, it's not a big space. Like it was pretty crowded in there when we were in there, but it was just themed so well. And they had, what's that brand name? I can't pronounce it. It looks like Roosevelt's or RSVLTS.
It's Roosevelt's. They spell it, they shorten it, but it's a shirt company that they've gotten really popular on their button-up shirts that have like material themed after it. They had a bunch of those in there. They
had some really cool ones too, like very 90s.
I've gotten shirts. The shirt that always gets comments is it's the Macho Man and Ric Flair running for president 1992 shirt. That one I got from them. They a lot of times they used to do like a lot of old funny wrestling shirts, but they've gotten really into a lot of these themed like button up. I don't know what you call those types of shirts. I guess it's button up short sleeve shirts.
Yeah, they're just button ups.
Yeah.
They also have like references to other tribute stores and like like old attractions. So there was a poster of like Psycho on the wall. There was the helmet from Terminator 2. And that used to be a show that was in there. So that's kind of put in there. And then there's like Earl the Squirrel. There's a sign of Earl the Squirrel in there. Because again, he's part of the Universal fandom or whatever.
Right.
They had Gurg the llama, which is like a running joke in all of these tribute stores. There's Gurg. He pops up everywhere in all the stores. Stuff like that. And then again, everything is displayed in that first room. That's just all about pre-production. So moving into the second room. What was the second room?
So the second room is by far the best room in this entire tribute store.
Absolutely.
And this is the kitchen and, well, I guess you just call it the toilet scene from Jurassic Park. So remember the kitchen scene is when the kids, they're in the kitchen toward the end of the movie with the raptor that's trying to get them. They have that scene where the raptor's on top of the table so you can take photo ops there and Jamie got a photo. People, the only thing I will say the downside of this is this room moves very slowly because people are stopping to take pictures in here.
Yeah.
And some people take multiple pictures for a long period of time.
Slowly.
And they, but you know, either way, it's fun. And then the other side of it, you have, so that's on the left. On the right side, you have the scene, basically, if you remember the T-Rex, he eats the guy in the toilet.
He's the lawyer.
He's the lawyer. So they have the T-Rex, and you can sit on the toilet, and the T-Rex is above you. And
like the walls are all down, and there's like greenery. Yeah,
and
it's awesome.
And it looks like it's raining, like it was in that movie. But and in the middle, there's a little bit. There's not as much merchandise in this room. There's a little bit in the middle, but it's mostly about the photo ops there. But by far the coolest room.
Yeah, and it's very cool because like the music, the atmosphere is all about it too. So like in the kitchen, there's actually like a cart that's knocked down. And then in the background, you can see the windows have like rustling greenery, and like you can hear the raptor making noises. And I'm like, oh dang,
the detail is really impressive.
Really, really impressive. And then you go to the next room, room 3, which would be the maintenance shed. So that's the one where they had to go to turn the fences back on.
Yep.
And so you have the control panel, and it's all lit up, and that's when she was like turning them on, and then the raptor comes through. And she thought, oh, there's what's it? Samuel L. Jackson's character. I forgot his name now.
Arnold?
Yeah. He, she's like, oh, there you are. And it's actually his like arm. It's like severed arm.
That's right.
It's on the ground.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right there.
Again, we went through this very quickly.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. But there's that photo op too if you want that. And again, more merchandise in this section. Then there's more merchandise in the little tiny room right next to that. That kind of gave me a soccer vibe, which is odd. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, you're talking about the shirts in there?
The lime green with the red and they had like jerseys. They had crop jerseys. I was like, this looks very soccer.
It looked like kind of soccer jerseys.
Yeah, but they had that kind of stuff. And then the last room, you walk through the gates of Jurassic Park.
Yes.
Little archway.
Little miniature ones in there.
What kind of food? Do you remember what kind of foods they had?
It was mostly sweets, cupcakes and cookies, and they're again all themed after stuff. They didn't have it. We were there, but there's a Jeff Goldblum brownie.
Yeah, they didn't have that.
But they probably sold out of it, I'm guessing.
It was amazing.
I think it's sweets in this room.
Mr. DNA cookies.
I mean, Dino DNA.
Dino DNA.
Yeah, there's that. I can't remember the theme. There's like raptor stuff and T-Rex, but
eggs.
it's all sweets themed after, Jurassic Park stuff. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention in that room where you take the pictures, they do have that sign. If you remember, the one guy that was trying to steal the stuff got turned around because the sign is turned.
The E-Stock.
Yeah, the E-Stock sign.
Yep.
They have it. You can actually spin the thing. It was there. So that part was in there as well.
And that dinosaur that can expand its face.
The Dilophosaurus.
Whatever it's called,
He expands his face and he spits at you.
That's right.
And apparently it's really bad.
That's right.
That, by the way, when I was a kid, that scene scared me.
Traumatized, absolutely.
Because apparently in the book, by the way, have you read the book? I read the book as a kid.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I actually read this book.
I have never met anybody that's read this book.
Yeah.
I read
it
Are you serious?
after the movie. But yeah. When I was a kid.
Okay, so what was in the book?
In the book, so in the movie, obviously he pops up and he, that spreads his face and spits at him, and you just see the Jeep rustling and like you just assume like, oh, he's dead.
Right.
So,
but not in the book.
Well, in the book, I guess I should put like graphic warning here. In the book, it talks about the dinosaur cuts him on his stomach, we'll say, and certain things happen. Much more graphic.
That's enough. That's enough.
Yeah. It's definitely. I think in the movie they do. You know what's going on. It's not. Right. It's not good for him.
Well, it's a Steven Spielberg movie, and it was like,
right.
same.
Yeah. There was. I don't remember some other stuff. I remember that one in particular. I was like, oh, okay, that was much.
Back to the last room, though, the cool thing about this is there's a section in the back wall to show all the merchandise that was available back in 1993. It wasn't for sale, but it was just displayed so you could see what you could buy.
And I had some of that stuff.
Oh my gosh. The VHS, they had the lunchbox, they had a backpack, they had plates, they had
if you want to talk about
video games,
core memories unlocked.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, oh, I had the lunchbox and I had that. There's so many things I had that I didn't remember that I had.
Well, because we were 9 and 10 years old whenever that came out.
Yes.
Right?
I remember when Jurassic Park came out on video because I was sick.
Oh.
I remember I was home sick, and that's when it came out on video because it was a really big deal.
Right. I just meant like that time in our life was very
for sure.
formidable.
I was just saying, I just remember for sure, like it was such a, because I remember you couldn't even find the movie because back in the day, you had to go to Blockbuster to rent a movie.
That's right.
And it was impossible to find. I think we had bought it early, but back then I think the VHSs were like pretty expensive.
I mean, it was in the early 90s, yeah.
We are dating ourselves.
We really are. Remember those 8-track tapes? Just kidding.
Anyways.
Yeah, I had the movie as well, and I watched it a bunch as a kid. So when you go out the store, of course you can check out at the very end of the store, and they do have like coins, like pressed pennies.
Yeah.
You can get to, which is kind of cool. And they have like literally every kind of merchandise. They have Spirit jersey, which was okay. It was black with it was red with black writing on it.
They also had a black one too.
They have a black one too. Okay.
This is one of those stores you have to go through a few times. It would take well over an hour to really check out all of the merchandise in here. It's so much. It's like there's little things too, like little pins and yeah.
They had an annual pass holder section of I think it was a special like mug and a shirt. The shirt was super scratchy. I didn't want it. I was like, this is not comfy. So I passed on it this time. But after you check out and you go outside, right in front, like right to this, I guess it's right to the right of the entrance, is the Triceratops laying out there, the one that was sick in the movie that they try to help. Mm-hmm. So you can take a picture with that, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I don't think it's live replica size. I think it was a little smaller, but it was if you've seen the movie, it looks just like it.
Yeah.
But
we had to go through this really quickly again because we were stopped for time, but we will be going back through it again when we go back next time, just because our kids love dinosaurs, so I'm sure they would actually like to go through this.
Our son will be in there for a while.
He will love this.
Yeah, that's true.
He will love this. Yep, he really will.
I was gonna say they also had Jurassic Park jean jackets.
Yeah,
for that Florida summer weather.
Those denim jackets.
Although they looked cool, but I was like, I don't know who's buying these in Orlando. But
I kind of wanted to buy one of the lanyards. I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
Maybe. But yeah, that's as most as we can remember. And again, we'll go through it again and update you if we think of or see of anything else.
Well, we also vlogged this. This will be up on the channel this week, so you can check it out and see all the stuff that is in there, because we did do that. So
we also vlogged our room at Sapphire Falls, so you can also check that out as well in a future episode.
Yeah, that'll be out probably in 2 weeks on the YouTube channel. So again, at Captain Magic, check that out.
Perfect.
And a programming note, because I suppose this is the end of the episode. Programming note.
It is.
We have moved, if you watch the episodes on YouTube, we have moved all the podcast episodes, including this one, onto its own YouTube channel called CTM Podcast. And those are separate from the main channel now. So just the main channel now is going to be vlogs and like edited videos that are topical. And then on at CTM Podcast, that is where all of the show episodes and clips will be.
Okay.
So just putting that show note in there.
Very good. Well, that is it for the show from us as far as the discussion goes. Just want to mention that you should check out some of the other shows we have on the network, like the main Capture the Magic podcast on Thursdays, where we talk about all things Disney and some news. And that's Jared and I. And then we've got Trip Tales, which is once a month. That's my little trip report show. I am still needing guests for August and beyond. So if you would like to be a guest and talk about your trip on the show, you can go to ctmtriptales.com and fill out that form for me, and I will get back to you if I am wanting you to be on the show. And then we've got Universal Show on Mondays, and then Outside the Bubble, which we will be doing a new one of that in a couple weeks, because we did kind of stay outside the bubble.
We did
kind of do that. Yeah. So we will be doing another one of those here soon, and that's once a month as well on Mondays.
Well, we should mention the Universal show is now twice a month.
So yeah, we're actually changing a little bit. I feel like we've got enough going on with Universal right now, and we've been going more that we're going to start covering it more for the podcast. So yeah, we're gonna move the Universal show to twice a month.
Well, I think especially ramping up into Epic Universe opening, I think there'll be a lot more things to discuss, and especially once that opens, there will be plenty of things to discuss.
Yep.
So, and you know, as we've been going more, we really enjoy it. So.
We do. We are fans of Universal, so which is great. So all those shows over there, and then like Jared said, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And
channels.
Thank you. Channels. And let's see, social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, even Lemonade. We're either Cap the Magic or Capture the Magic over there. And we're Capture the Magic community on Facebook. So hit us up on those social media platforms.
Yes.
So I think that's it from us.
I think so.
Well, I think that's it for the show today. So thank you, Jared, for being here.
You're welcome.
And thank you, everybody, for watching or listening. And as I always like to say, we will see you in the parks.
Bye.
Jurassic Park.
Ooh. Rawr.